Welcome back to the Craptacular podcast with a K. I am your host, Aaron, and I am joined, as always, by Matt, where we're looking for bad movies.
Yeah,
How was it?
Nailed it.
Nailed it. So good. I'm freaking amped to be here. A little peek behind the curtain. We just had a little rock out session and fucking rock to the core. Yes. How are you doing, my dude?
Doing all right. The rock out session's fading fast for me, but otherwise doing all right. Yeah. How about you?
Oh, dude. I gotta do my taxes after this. Fucking
Ooh, fun.
not psyched about that, but psyched about other stuff. It's been a while since we've done a record, my dude. There's been a lot of stuff. I actually made like a conscious effort this last month to like keep track of stuff that I've been watching.
Oh, awesome. Glad one of us did.
So I got like a lot of stuff that I watched, but I don't know if there's like a lot that I need to talk about. What are you doing?
Jeez, well, I feel like out of like new things or like media noteworthy things since last we podcasted, I'm
all
actually
about noteworthy.
I'm drawing a total blank. I I don't think I've watched anything important as far as media consumption is concerned. But
did you watch The Falcon and the Winter Soldier?
I have not watched The Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
All right, it's fine.
Oh, okay.
See, episode 3 is where it gets good.
Oh, okay. I feel, I don't know. I could have. I just didn't feel like it. I don't know.
Oh, I hear you, man. Like, I watched the first episode and I was like, eh. And then I watched the second episode and I was like, eh. And then the third episode is where they brought Baron Zemo back and I'm like, ooh, I'm all about this guy.
Oh, okay. A character that you actually care about. There we go.
Yeah. Well, and I've also I know there's like so many people are like, oh my god, I'm so glad Bucky finally gets his own show. Like, he's such a good, amazing character and I love him so much. I'm like, really? Why? Like, he doesn't do anything in the movies aside from be brainwashed. And 2, I think it's just like Sebastian Stan's face. I think he has just like a very forgettable face. And so I just like, whenever I see him, I'm just sort of like, oh yeah, you. I guess you're in this.
Oh, brutal.
I don't know. Like, people are like, he looks kind of like a young Mark Hamill. I'm like, yeah, but he's lacking all the charisma.
Yeah, have you seen him in anything else that would kind of speak to whether or not he has range? Yeah, I don't think I have either. I don't think I have. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe I have and I just forgot because he's got a very forgettable face. He just blended into the background.
Sorry, he is in The Martian. Ew. Like, has no face. I think he's in The Martian.
Oh, okay.
Okay, see, here, apparently he was in Logan Lucky, and I had no idea. I love that movie. I've seen it 4 or 5 times.
And you don't recognize him? Oh, my goodness.
No recognition.
Tragic. Oh, boy.
So, yeah, he was in I, Tonya, which I also saw. Don't remember. Yeah, he was in The Martian. I remember that. But no, like I don't get it. I don't get why people like, he was in Black Swan?
Wow.
See, he's been in stuff. Rachel getting
That's
married.
one that I've seen, but also I repressed. So I don't feel bad for not remembering him.
Love me some Black Swan. But anyways, so I think that's kind of a big detractor for me is I'm just like, Sebastian Stan is just boring to look at. and he has like maybe one moment in the show where I'm like, oh, that was some good acting. But other than that, he's just like, I don't know, he's just a charisma vacuum.
Well, this media catch-up has turned into a real Bucky roast.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I don't know. I think it's, like, I haven't seen the latest episode. It just came out yesterday. I didn't have time to watch it because I had to watch a different thing for what we're going to talk about later. But, yeah, I think maybe once it's all out, maybe give it a go and you can kind of just, like, blow through it. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe.
But also, it feels like they've stretched what could be a decent 2 hour 20 movie into a 6-hour TV show.
Yeah. That was kind of the concern.
Yeah.
Going in, right?
100%.
Well, what else did you watch?
On the flip side, I watched the 4-hour Justice League director's cut. Zack Snyder restored his full vision to the big screen, except it's on the small screen. Because it's formatted for IMAX.
4 hours?
4 hours, my dude.
Holy crap.
Yeah.
Did you do it in one sitting?
No.
Okay, good.
No. Two sittings. 2 sittings. It's pretty good.
Oh.
I did not expect to say that. Well, and also, okay, so it's 4 hours, and then there's about 15 minutes tacked on to the end after the actual movie ends. That's like setting up sequels that will probably never get made and that kind of stuff. So you can you can just kind of shut it off after they defeat the bad guy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Because there's nothing really of any importance that happens after that.
Oh, shoot.
There's like the ending that feels like, oh, this is the natural place to end it. And then there's like 15 minutes of stuff because they're like, well, we got to get Jared Leto's Joker and Ben Affleck to have a scene together because they haven't had a scene together. And this is probably the last time either of them are going to play those roles. So we got to bring them together. And just like, no, you don't. You don't have to. It adds nothing. Overall, yeah, pretty enjoyable. Far more enjoyable than the Justice League version that came out in 2017, where Joss Whedon came in to rewrite and handle reshoots. But I think there is a 2.5 hour cut of this movie.
Okay.
That could someone I'm sure is working on it. I've thought about doing it myself because I'm going like, all right, he goes and talks to Desaad about 3 times in this movie, and each time he says the same thing. He's like, oh, the parademons are gonna smell the mother boxes and they're gonna go get them, and we'll rule the planet.
Oh boy.
So yeah. That's a thing. It's on Crave. If you got Crave with HBO, it's free. Just watch it. I guess.
Yeah, I probably won't. To be honest.
What do you anything else you remember watching?
I did rewatch Knives Out.
Oh, sick.
Which
because you heard about the $450 million Netflix deal he just made for the 2 sequels?
Yeah. I'm pretty stoked about that.
Yeah.
And I actually hadn't seen it a second time. I had only seen it the one time in theaters and was blown away by it.
Yeah.
And so I was really curious because I don't know, I really like to rewatch movies that I enjoy. And so I was, it's always a thing with mysteries where like, if you know everything and all the plot twists, is it still enjoyable to rewatch? And yeah, I just appreciate the movie more. Having seen it another time. It's still
totally
fucking brilliant. Because now that I know the plot and I know where all the twists are coming, I was able to focus a lot more on the finer details of each moment and like understand how extremely well written that movie is.
Dude,
it's so intelligently written.
It's meticulous. It's so good. I highly recommend the director commentary on that one.
Oh, of course. That would be so interesting.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I saw it twice in the theaters because he had actually released a podcast commentary that you could like download and listen to like on your phone while you were watching the movie. So I'd gone to see it, and then my parents were like, "Oh, is it good?" And I'm like, "Yeah, absolutely, it's amazing. You should definitely go see it." And they're like, "Oh yeah, we're thinking about going tonight." I'm like, "I'll come with." And then I listened to the commentary in the theater, which was interesting.
That's such a unique experience. I've never heard of doing that before.
Yeah, it was fun. So yeah, Knives Out. Definitely, yeah. For a movie that cost $40 million to get a $450 million deal for the 2 sequels, like even if you give Daniel Craig a huge pay raise, like,
yeah,
Rian Johnson's a rich motherfucker right now, dude. Like, holy shit.
Yeah.
What else did I watch? I watched Godzilla vs. Kong.
Wow, you did?
Yeah.
How did that taste in your mouth?
Better than the last Godzilla movie for sure.
Okay.
But my God, do these movies make no sense? Like, okay, so Godzilla vs. Kong, like it delivers what it promises in the title. See Godzilla fight Kong, and boy do they fight. But also, there's still people in the movie, and so they feel like they need to give them something to do. And it's the 4th movie in a series that really feels like there should be 9 movies. Like, I feel like my mom watching the Marvel movies.
Oh.
You know? Where she's like,
oh no.
Who's that? Why? Who's the guy that flies? And I'm like, oh, that's Falcon. He showed up in the Winter Soldiers. Like, I didn't see that one. It's like, I know. Like, so I'm just supposed to know who that is? Like, yeah. You're supposed to just watch all of them.
Oh, gosh.
Right? So there's just like a bunch of stuff where they're like, did you see the first Godzilla of this series?
I've seen none of them.
Oh, okay. So the first Godzilla in this series is like pretty grounded, pretty like based in reality. It's directed by Gareth Edwards, who did Rogue One.
And
then Kong Skull Island is probably my favorite of the series. Well, the first Godzilla is also awesome. The only one I don't recommend watching, honestly, is Godzilla King of the Monsters.
Right, you've definitely like torn that one a new hole.
2.5 hours of like just shut the fuck up and get on with it. Like, I don't know. And it pisses me off that they burned Mothra, Rodan, and King Ghidorah in all in one horrible movie. But anyways,
Shame.
there's a nice surprise in the end of this one. Do you care?
No, go ahead and spoil it for me. Whoever doesn't want to spoil, just take your headphones out or mute it or skip it.
Yeah, I'll try to remember to put a time code in the bottom, but if not, just like, I don't know, smash the skip forward button a couple times. So they bring in Mechagodzilla at the end.
Oh.
Yeah. So Kong and Godzilla fight, and then Mechagodzilla shows up, and then they have to team up to defeat Mechagodzilla.
Dope.
And so that was cool. But like, in terms of like things making no sense, it's like the first one, yeah, it's like super grounded in reality, and then the Kong one is like, you know, set in the 70s. It's a bit more like stylistically, it's a bit more like flashy and in tone with like these ones, but like again, still pretty realistically grounded. And then like in this one, there's like anti-gravity hover ships that can breach the gravity inversion polarity gateway in the center of the hollow earth, because the earth is actually there's not like a mantle and a crust and a core like we think. There's like subterranean tunnels that lead to a different dimension in the center of the earth, and that's where the Titans come from, and they got to take Kong there so that he can lead them to an energy source to power mech. And it's just like all this fucking stuff, and they're just like dumping this like Hollow Earth lore on you, which I think they maybe said in like 2 lines of dialogue in the last movie. And it's like, I feel like this is movie 9 of a series, and I've only seen 4 of them, and I'm just missing so much stuff. And they wanted to do this shared monster universe thing, and it's like, well, just wait. Like they needed to get to Godzilla and Kong fighting so fast, just like DC needed to get to the Justice League so fast. And it's like, well, okay, so the last time I saw Kong, it was 1975, and he was still on Skull Island, and then this movie starts, and apparently there's a tidal wave or something that caused Skull Island to get flooded, so they went and rescued Kong and put him on a research barge, fake island in the middle of the ocean somewhere, and I don't know. Like the movie starts,
I was so
and
hoping
you're like,
you were gonna say that they put him on a giant raft, because then that would have been a callback to the old movies.
Oh, dude, they fly him in this movie. They
really?
Yeah, like in the King Kong versus Godzilla, where they like fly him in on balloons. Yeah, they fly him to Antarctica with helicopters, because they did have him on like an aircraft carrier, but then Godzilla attacked them and they had to have a big fight on the aircraft carrier. And also, like, Godzilla's size keeps fluctuating. Like, he's small enough now to stand on an aircraft carrier. Like, what the fuck? Like, I don't know.
Okay.
So anyways,
here's an important question for you.
Yeah.
Did at any point in the movie King Kong take an entire tree and shove it into Godzilla's mouth? And did Godzilla respond by blasting the tree out of his mouth back at King Kong?
He shoves the handle of his axe down Godzilla's throat.
Did you say his axe?
Yeah, he goes to the center of the earth and he finds a gigantic axe, and also there's a throne there, and he sits on the throne, and it's like, oh, he's King Kong, because they only ever call him Kong in the movie. Anyways,
okay.
Anyways, so yeah, he shoves his axe down his throat, and I think he burns it out. I can't remember.
Okay. Well, not as good as the original then.
No, but you can tell that the director like watched that original movie and was like, I'm gonna take that, and I'm gonna take that, and I'm gonna take that. Like, there's a couple good parts in there. Anyways, overall pretty enjoyable, but like, again, I don't care about the
human
side. Like, there's literally a subplot where Eleven and Ricky Baker, happy birthday, team up with a podcaster to go undercover and try and find out what this company is doing. And it turns out that they're building Mechagodzilla. But he's also like podcasting about it while he's like, I'm gonna go and do some corporate espionage, and I'm gonna go in and I'm gonna steal files, and stay tuned on the Titan cast. And it's like, dude, like okay. You're the worst spy.
Like all of your spying is public.
Yeah, it's like if James Bond had like a podcast and he's like, I'm on my way to Jamaica to break into Dr. No's secret facility. Like, oh, okay, Dr. No's gonna be like, let's find the one Scottish guy in Jamaica and kill him. And there's a good chance that it will have killed James Bond.
Yep. Jeez.
So yeah. Then I also watched a series on HBO called Betty, which is about a bunch of girl skateboarders in New York City. It's based off the movie Skate Kitchen. It's a real good time. Check it out. It's only 6 episodes.
Oh, cool. Well, on what?
Crave.
On Crave. Cool.
If you got Crave with HBO, or I guess if you're in the States, it's probably on HBO Max, I would assume.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's just like a group of girls in New York City that skate, and yeah, that's kind of the plot.
Okay.
It's I don't know. It's a weird show where it's like nothing happens, but like also stuff does happen that like you care about, but in many ways it's not important.
Okay. Is it more like character driven than plot driven?
Yeah, it's like you kind of just like get to love the characters and you just hang out with them and stuff.
Okay, cool.
Anything else you watched? Because I got like one more thing that I should probably talk about.
I mean, any fans of Dungeons and Dragons, this isn't new, but I've really gotten into the series called Dimension 20, done by College Humor.
Oh, okay.
Where they do a real play D&D show. Most of it's on YouTube, but they also have a streaming service called Dropout. And that shit's hilarious and amazing. It's so much fun. And there's a whole series where it's D&D, but it's set in New York. It's like in our world. And it's like about like the magic world behind the real world, like below the surface, which is always a really fun space to play in. And it's just really brilliantly done.
Nice. Well, I did something weird this last week.
Tell me what you did.
Like I don't even want to, but I'm going to. I watched all 5 Twilight movies.
Oh.
Of my own free will. I'll have you know.
You were not coerced. You were of sound mind and body.
This was my idea.
Why?
Well, so I listened to this podcast called Total Reboot, and they're doing a mini series on their show right now called Screenagers, where they look at teens on screen. So they're doing a bunch of like classic teen movies, like they started with Dazed and Confused, and they did like 8th Grade and Rumblefish, and I'm like, okay, so they're doing like more like highly regarded teen movies, and they talked about Ferris Bueller's Day Off as like a classic teen movie. And then out of nowhere, they dropped an episode about Twilight, and they made it sound like the most insane, wackadoo, like bonkers movie ever, which it is.
Okay.
Like 100%. And so I came home, I went out to my partner, and I was like, hey, have you ever seen the Twilight movies? And she was like, yeah. And I was like, cool. Let's watch them. Let's watch Twilight tonight. And she was like, why? And I was like, don't ask questions.
Oh, no.
We're just going to watch it. And she was like, yeah, sure. And like she's not even a fan of Twilight. Her mom paid her to read the books because she was a fan of the books. Literally paid her $20 a book.
What the fuck?
Because she wanted to take her to see the movies because she didn't want to be like the sad middle-aged woman going to watch Twilight by herself and being all horny for Robert Pattinson. So,
well, I mean, isn't it sadder that she paid her daughter to read the book so that she wouldn't have to feel that way?
Yes.
Is that not the sadder outcome?
No, that is, but I think in her mind it's optics, so like the people in the movie theater wouldn't know, right? They'd be like, she could be like, yeah, my daughter's, I just gotta take her to see this Twilight thing, and it's whatever, it's stupid, I don't even care, but yeah.
She doesn't listen to this, does she?
No, absolutely not. And even if she did, it's not like it could lessen her opinion of me anymore. So,
whoops.
It's great. It's fun. We have a good dynamic in which we just don't speak to each other unless we absolutely have to.
Ooh.
And the relationship flourishes. Oh, sweet. Thanks, Dad. My dad just texted me, Canadian Tire's got charcoal on make sure you get it while you can. Which is like
hot tip.
Such an awesome classic dad text to get.
Wonderful.
Why didn't you get me a bag, Dad? Anyways, yeah, Twilight.
A classic dad text for me to get is just a TikTok of something I don't care about.
Oh no, your dad's on TikTok.
Yeah,
that's the worst.
TikTok. He's on it all the time, and he keeps sending me TikToks. He sends them to me by text. He sends them to me by Facebook Messenger and also on Instagram.
I mean, yeah, like my partner, she's on TikTok a lot, and so she just shows them to me, and I'm like, all right, some of these are funny. But also my friend Mike sends me TikToks, and the TikToks that he sends me are fucking weird. Like, he sent me one about, like, someone had just posted a picture of, like, an old rotten piece of plywood, and it was like, you have a piece of plywood, edges are a bit rough, water swelling has occurred in certain places, so it's not exactly 1/2 inch thick. No lowballers, financing options available. DM for serious inquiries only. And I'm like, dude, this is a weird TikTok. And he's like, yeah, dude, but like the price of plywood has spiked recently, and it's all over TikTok. And I'm like, how did you end up on plywood TikTok?
What a niche corner of that
But of all the people that would end up on plywood TikTok, like,
It is 100% Mike, yes, absolutely.
It's 100% Mike. So, anyways, Twilight. Fucking insane, dude.
Yeah, it's Twilight, right.
We could do, like, honestly, I was like, oh, fuck, this is ripe fodder for the podcast. Like, it's got a cool soundtrack, first of all. Like, the first movie, like, they're dancing at the end to Iron and Wine. They play baseball to Supermassive Black Hole by Muse. The end credit. Guess what the end credit song on the first Twilight movie is? It's a band you like.
Is it Tom York?
Oh, it's Tom York.
Is it actually? Did I guess right?
It's 15 Step by Radiohead.
Oh.
Is the end credit song on the first Twilight.
Oh, what the hell? I love
right?
That
what the fuck?
It's opening to a fantastic album, that song is.
Yeah.
That's...
And, like, I get, like, okay, this movie came out in 2008, I think, and, like, In Rainbows was what, 2007? 2006? 2007?
Oh, something like that.
That was around the time we went to see Radiohead. Back when they were still, like, a relevant band.
Whoops.
Yep. Sorry if you liked King of Limbs. You're dumb. I think there's a lot of crossover on this podcast, or like people who like bad movies and people who like King of Limbs. Are we offending listeners right now?
I guarantee you there's at least one. He's never coming back. He or she is never coming back.
Just wanted to hear about my favorite 1990s video game adaptation movie, and here you are slagging on my favorite Radiohead album. Dicks.
Oh, please find us in the comments.
Yeah, let us know if that's you.
Let us know how much you hate us. Join the throngs of people who just hate this shit.
Yeah, let us know if that's what you sound like. Also, but like, dude, the fucking weird like Mormon values that are like shoehorned in there, and like, just like crazy weird stuff. Like, how much do you know about Twilight? Let's go there for a second.
Okay, here are all the things that I know about Twilight.
Hit me.
There are vampires.
Yeah.
The vampires sparkle in the sunlight.
Oh, they sure do, buddy.
And Robert Pattinson's in it.
Yep, he is.
And the lead is named Bella, right?
Mm-hmm.
There we go. That's the 4 things I know about Twilight.
Yeah. So, there's also a love triangle with a werewolf.
Okay. Right. Yeah, no. I forgot that. I did hear something about werewolf love triangle stuff.
And so in the 4th movie, spoilers, Edward and Bella finally get married, and so they can finally have sex because they're married, and it won't be a sin against Mormon Jesus. who may or may not be the same as Christian Jesus, but I don't 100% know. So anyways, so they can get married, they have sex, and then she gets pregnant with his vampire baby. Because he hasn't turned her into a vampire yet. Because he wanted her to experience the pleasures of the flesh.
Oh boy.
While she was still human. He wanted her to have that experience while she was still human before she gave up her before she shook loose this mortal coil and became a vampire.
Wait. So the whole reason that Robert Pattinson doesn't turn the love of his life into a vampire is so that she can lose her virginity as a mortal?
Yep.
Don't vampires... I mean, like, I've seen Interview with a Vampire. They enjoy mortal flesh. Like,
oh, they do. But if you've also seen True Blood, Jessica was a virgin before she got turned into a vampire, and so every time she has sex, her enhanced healing kicks in, and her hymen grows back.
Oh,
yeah.
Never. My mind never would have. Okay.
I don't think that's where Stephanie Meyer was going when she wrote the books. I think she was thinking it's a sin against God to have sex before marriage, so my vampire characters won't sin against God by having premarital sex. But they'll eat people. That's fine. I mean, they don't. The Cullens all eat animals. They call themselves vegetarians. They don't feast on human blood. Anyways, look, the point is, it's not important. The werewolf, there's a love triangle with a werewolf, and he keeps going like, I love you, Bella, and you're going to choose me, and blah, blah, blah. And him and Edward hate each other, because also vampires and werewolves hate each other. They're mortal enemies. But they have to set aside their differences.
Oh, yeah, that's been in other media.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. They got to set aside their differences for the sake of... and also, they're not really werewolves. They're shapeshifters. Anyways, it's not dependent on the moon.
You're in too deep, bud. You're in too deep.
I'm in way too deep. But, so basically, the werewolves do this thing called imprinting, in which when they see for the first time, it's like love at first sight. True love at first sight, where they see the mate that they're supposed to end up with, they imprint on them, and then it's like they will only ever love that one woman, and they'll only ever be, where they'll be fiercely loyal to her, and they'll never, they'll do anything they have to protect her, and then whatever, right? So as soon as the baby is born, Jacob, the werewolf, who's in love with Bella, imprints on the baby. Your silence speaks volumes, sir. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not frozen. I'm just...
He imprints on the baby, and there's a great scene where he has to tell Bella that this happened, and he's like, it's a wolf thing, and I can't control it. But anyways, this happened. Oh, and the baby's name is Renesmee, by the way. The mix between Renee and Esme, which are their two moms.
Renesmee.
So anyways, he imprints on Renesmee. And
hey, can you send me an updated version of your Renesmee for this job position?
Ooh,
yours seems to be a little outdated. But
yeah, nice, nailed it. So she's like, and Bella died in childbirth, and then was brought back to life when Edward turned her into a vampire. And so she was kind of out of it for the first few hours of the baby's life, and so she's yelling at Jacob, being like, you son of a bitch, you imprinted on my daughter, and what do you want to fuck the baby? And he doesn't say that, but and he's like, you don't understand, you were dead. Nessie needed someone to protect her. And she's like, Nessie, you nicknamed my daughter after the Loch Ness Monster? And that's the single funniest thing anyone has ever had to say on film in the history of cinema. It's so fucking funny. I died laughing. It was unbelievably hilarious. Oh my god, dude. You don't even know. You don't even know. It's mind-bogglingly like the choices that are made both like in the books and then later by the filmmakers are astonishing. And I had such a great time watching these movies.
Wow, like, I never would have guessed.
No, me neither. Like, not for the reasons that I'm supposed to, by the way.
Oh, like, of course. Yeah, no, I got that.
Yeah. But yeah. Anyways, that was me. That's the weird thing I did. I'm so glad I got to tell you about it.
Wow.
Anything else you want to discuss?
Are we going to have to do an episode on Twilight at some point? Is that going to happen?
I mean, look, I'm down. I'm down to clown if you are. But like, I'm not gonna force that on you. I feel like it needs to be your choice. I would never do that to someone. Force them to watch Twilight against their will.
Well,
I feel like if it had been forced on me, like if my partner had been like, "Hey, let's watch Twilight," I would have been like, "Oh my god, I don't want to." And I probably would have consumed copious amounts of drugs in order to get through it. But I mean, I still got a little bit high to watch.
I think that's fair. I think we all assumed that. I think everyone listening assumed that.
Yeah. Also, I didn't do them in like one sitting. Like each movie was like 2 or 3 sittings.
Oh, okay. Okay, yeah, that makes a lot more sense.
Yeah. You can't. You can't do it in one sitting.
No.
Like maybe if you were, like had mono or something and you just couldn't get off the couch, then. But yeah, no, don't do it on purpose. If the time comes, yeah, you let me know and then we'll do Twilight.
All right. I'll think about it.
Yeah, maybe it's a Patreon thing. Who knows? We'll set up a new goal. We get a certain amount of patrons. We'll watch all the Twilight movies. Who
Perfect.
knows? In the meantime, let's talk about what we came here to discuss.
Oh, yeah.
We discussed the classic video game adaptation. Are you ready?
I'm so ready for it.
Each of us, there burns the fury of a warrior. In every generation, a few are chosen to prove it.
One of you 3 will decide the outcome of the tournament.
3 strangers will travel to the mystical realm of Outworld to defend our people against Shang Tsung.
You will die.
And his forces of darkness. In an ancient tournament. One more victory.
Your soul is mine.
And our world is theirs.
It has begun!
You can't run from me, Shang!
I don't need to run.
Raiden, Johnny Cage, Scorpion, Subzero, Sonya.
Combat begins.
Mortal Kombat! Oh,
I love how out of sync that's gonna be
so bad.
because of the delay.
Oh.
Yeah, wonderful.
Love it. Best movie theme song ever.
Yeah, and I right out of the gate, that's how the fucking movie starts.
The first
I didn't see
thing
it
you
coming.
hear, I know. Just the New Line Cinema logo. It is just Mortal Kombat. You're like, whoa. All right.
Oh man, I watched it just this morning. I got my breakfast. You know, I had a bowl of granola, made myself some Earl Grey tea, and I sit down, and then Mortal Kombat. I'm like, oh boy, this is gonna be a day.
I watched it at like 11 p.m. last night.
Oh, even better.
Yeah. It was.
Oh boy.
Oh, you might need to fill in some gaps for me.
Okay, well, I'll try. But you know. But hey, sorry. One thing to mention is, I mean, Mortal Kombat is a classic. We both grew up with Mortal Kombat. We've played the video games. There's some nostalgia there.
Yeah.
But it was a special thing that we decided to do because this is our 50th episode.
It is. Big 5-0, baby. Right. Who would have thought? 5 years later, we made it. Yeah. All the way from Power Rangers to Mortal Kombat.
Which isn't a big jump. Looking at this movie, oh no. There were a lot of times where I was like, yep, that could have been an episode of Power Rangers.
This is going to be the title of our biography. From Power Rangers to Mortal Kombat.
Mortal Kombat.
A history of the
of our shared biography.
The greatest podcast known to man.
Oh no.
Yeah, so we picked it. It was honestly, it's one of those things that just worked out that there happens to be a Mortal Kombat movie coming out this month, the remake. I think it's either coming out like this week or it'll already be out by the time the episode is out. But it looks sick, and I can't wait to watch it because I think it's gonna be craptacular. But
it's hard to tell, but also I definitely want to watch it.
It's like it would have to really, really try hard to be worse than this movie. Like the trailer for that movie is already better than this movie.
Hands down, easily.
Like when Subzero freezes the guy's blood into a knife and stabs him to death with his own blood. I'm like, take my money. You got it. You've got my money. It's yours. Nothing that cool happens in this Mortal Kombat. However,
not so much.
Not so much. So this is our fun fact. It's our third Paul W.S. Anderson movie. Paul W.S. Anderson has directed the Resident Evil series, most of them.
Right.
Most of the bad ones.
Yep.
I mean, they're all bad, but, you know. And also Alien vs. Predator, one of my all-time favorite guilty pleasure movies. And we've talked about the first Resident Evil and Alien vs. Predator on this podcast already. So this is a triptych. I think this makes him probably our most reviewed filmmaker.
Oh.
I'm just looking to see if there's anything else that
he should be flattered, obviously.
He should be. Yeah,
watching
I think
so much of his shit.
Yeah, this is the triptych right here. Triptych? I don't know. Either way.
Triple dick.
Nope.
No?
That's gonna be a no for me, dog. So, yeah, Mortal Kombat. Have you seen this movie before?
Yes. I mean, a very long time ago at this point.
Same. I think I saw it at your house.
Yeah, we probably watched it together on the old 4x3 tube.
in the basement with the orange shag carpet.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's correct.
I feel like it probably like your brothers were watching it, and then we just kind of like came in halfway through and we're like, "Oh, sick, let's watch this."
Yeah,
And
Mortal
then
Kombat.
also probably got
the N64.
Yeah. So yeah, that's just. Did you play the games a lot?
Not like a ton actually. Like I definitely played Mortal Kombat 4.
Yes, I also played Mortal Kombat 4.
Like a bunch. Like played it quite a bit. And then I played one other since that I like rented from the game store, you know.
Back when that was a thing, yeah.
Yeah.
I think I played,
but like I haven't played any of the new ones. Like I've not played Mortal Kombat Extra Large or anything.
Yeah. I think I played 11. I got you. Okay. I've played DC versus Mortal Kombat.
Oh.
Where they teamed up the DC universe and the Mortal Kombat universe, and they have to fight each other.
Huh.
And that was, a thing. It was kind of fun. But I think that was the last Mortal Kombat game I played, and then 4 was the big one for me. But watching this, I realized I think I played more Street Fighter than Mortal Kombat.
I mean, they're so different.
They are. In no way. I was trying to think back to like, going to the arcade and stuff like that. And, like, what did I play at the arcade? And I was picturing like the classic like cartoony 16-bit animation, but like that's not what the original Mortal Kombat was at all. It was like they hired actors to do all the moves and stuff, and then it was like this like photoreal, in quotes, photoreal.
Yep.
16-bit like fighting game. And I was like looking at old clips of it, and I'm like, I don't think I've ever played this. Maybe.
It looks so weird.
Yeah. There was a good episode on, what's that documentary series on Netflix? High Score? It's called High Score.
Yeah, High Score.
The history of video games. They did a good one on Mortal Kombat and how it like fucking created a panic.
Oh.
Because like that like I think that was the game that like issued in like the ESRB rating system, because like, kids were going to the arcade and playing this game where people are getting their heads torn off and blood's gushing out of the neck hole and everything, and parents were like, this is unacceptable, moral outrage, Tipper Gore, that whole thing. I think
good stuff.
Yeah, it's all in that. There's a really good episode on it. Like, shows like how they made the game too, like, hiring the actors and like capturing all the moves and stuff, and then also goes into like, parents freaking out.
Of course. Interesting. I'd love to watch that.
Yeah. Have you not seen High Score?
No.
Oh shit, dude! I thought
I know about it. It's on my list, but I just haven't gotten to it.
I think we've talked about it on the show before. I thought.
Probably.
You'd seen it. Anyways, I don't know. It's good. Check that out. So Mortal Kombat, the movie, directed by Paul W.S. Anderson. I have 4 notes. Let's dive in. The plot is very simple. There's a tournament every year called Mortal Kombat. No, sorry. Once in a generation.
You're already wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah, there we go.
And Outworld has
Alt-World.
Alt-World?
No, I don't know. I think Outworld.
Outworld sounds right. Has won the last 9 tournaments, and if they win the 10th tournament, some bad shit's gonna happen. Maybe. So Raiden shows up, played by Christopher Lambert. And what's up with his voice?
Yeah, should we just dive in and talk about Raiden first off?
Yeah. So like, I feel like he was kind of the big get for the movie because he was famous for something, I'm sure.
Clearly, it was not a long-lasting fame.
I think it was he was on a popular TV show at the time.
Okay.
I think. Let's see. Oh, well, and he was in Highlander. Obviously.
Oh, who was he in Highlander?
Like the main guy, I'm pretty sure.
What? No.
Hold on. Let me go back. Let me find Highlander. Hold on. Yeah, he's Connor McLeod.
What?
Yeah.
What?
Yep.
Of the Clan McLeod?
Of Clan McLeod, and he was also in the sequel and the TV series. And Loaded Weapon in 1.
A Loaded Weapon is amazing.
Yeah.
Oh, geez, I 100% didn't recognize him at all.
And he's in 3. Yeah. Anyways, okay, so that's what he was in. I thought he was on a TV show though.
Anyway, well, I mean, I liked him in Highlander. As far as Raiden goes,
he's making a lot of choices. Dude, there was a Highlander movie in 2000. How did we not watch that for our distant future, the year 2000? Anyways.
Well, we're going to blame you for that one.
Probably best we didn't.
Yeah, probably.
Although we could have got away with not watching Hollow
There's
Man.
a lot of things we could have got away with not watching. I do regret Hollow Man. All those Hollow Man lovers out there who keep commenting on our YouTube video about it, shut up. Hollow Man sucks and it's disgusting.
Dude, sucks.
Jeez. But yeah, Raiden is awful, right? I'm not alone in this. Like,
no, you're not.
Like the worst character and actor in this movie.
Oh, I don't know about worst actor.
Well, that's true. That's a big pool to draw from. But
yeah, like
just the casting, I just feel like why was he cast as Raiden? What did he
I think because he was in Highlander. I think because he was a big get. Like name draw, maybe.
But like,
I don't know. Because what's up with his
get
voice?
Him to fight. Yeah, what is up with his voice?
He doesn't do any fighting. He shoots lightning.
He doesn't do shit all.
At Subzero, I think once.
Yeah, but no, like Raiden does that, but he's off screen at the time, and then he teleports in via lightning. Like we never see him do shit.
No, and he strikes a pose at the end.
Yeah,
when Shao Kahn shows up. So yeah, and in the sequel, I think he fights in the sequel. I think I remember him getting a haircut, but also it's the different actor.
Oh,
Raiden just like cuts his hair short. He's like, "Hey, what's up, guys? I'm cool and hip like you."
Oh boy.
Yeah, no, not great. So yeah, so he needs to. Does he collect the champions for Earth, or is it just happens?
So all of the champions for Earth, aside from our lead himbo Liu Kang, are tricked or coerced into participating by the evil sorcerer.
Right.
Raiden doesn't do anything.
Yeah, he kind of shows up and he's like, "Don't start the tournament before the tournament, you naughty boy, Shang Tsung." And then tells them like, "Oh yeah, if you don't win the tournament, Earth's fucked forever, so
yeah,
good luck." Anyways, and then kind of like leaves and doesn't come back for like a long time.
Yeah, there's like the first time that Sonya, Luke, and Liu Kang all like fight together against a bunch of randos. All of a sudden Raiden's there like slow clapping on the stairs.
Yeah.
And then is like, "What do you plan on doing about them?" And then there's like a huge crowd. of dudes who are like approaching with weapons, and then Raiden's like, and has a little bit of lightning on his finger, and then they all
I don't think so.
back out.
That's his catchphrase.
Yeah. Oh. I don't like Raiden in this movie.
No. Not at all.
He's the god of storms and is the protector of the Earth realm.
Yeah.
And
all correct
and like
things, yes.
But he's like unhelpful and like laughs at weird times.
Yes.
And then like I can't remember when it was exactly, but there's a fight scene going on where Raiden's like watching, because again, he doesn't do anything. He's just in the audience.
No,
and like whoever he's rooting for like gets a good hit on the enemy, and he goes, "Oh yeah," and he like excitedly punches one of the dudes who's there, clearly from Outworld, and is like, "Ooh, sorry."
So he's he's the comic relief?
Yeah. He's the comic relief, but also the old wise sage character, and he's bad at both of them.
Yeah. No, that's a good point. Because also I think Johnny Cage is kind of supposed to be the comic relief, but he's not funny.
Yeah. No.
Well, except when he is trying to get all his suitcases off of the boat, the little
off the pier.
Well, no, it's off of one of those.
The rowboat that
outrigger. Yeah, like the dragon boat. He just has like 19 suitcases that he's trying to carry, and he just face plants into the ocean. It's great. And like he's like trying to like carry them all up the steps. Like there's like 10 million steps to get up to the castle on the top of the mountain where the tournament's gonna be held, and he keeps like dropping them and like falling. And Liu Kang's like, "You want a hand with that?"
Yeah.
And he's like, "No, I'm good," because earlier he tried to pay Liu Kang to get his suitcase onto the boat, and then Liu Kang just like took his money and chucked it into the ocean and walked away.
Yeah, I actually made a note that the best acting moments in this movie were actually by Liu Kang, and it was when he was antagonizing Johnny Cage.
Yeah.
Those were the best moments of acting.
Yeah.
Where, he just like gives him, is this like, "I pay you, you move my suitcases, or is that too complicated for you?" And then he just like pops on this bright smile. He's like, "No, sounds good." Takes the money, grabs a suitcase, like looks at him as he walks over to the edge of the water, looks down, throws it in, and is like, "Thanks," and then walks away. It was fantastic. I liked that part.
And then Johnny Cage is like, "Well, I'm glad I didn't get you to park the car."
Oh yeah, jeez.
So let's talk about the action in the movie, because there's really no point in talking about the plot.
That's true.
The plot is there's Mortal Kombat. Shang Tsung wants to take over Earth. The humans have to stop him.
Yeah, really, it's like the point of the movie is to have the fight, to have Mortal Kombat, and there are characters that they try to make you care about, but they're flat. And there's a plot that is very watery, and you see straight through it to the action that there's supposed to be. And that's really what we expect of the new one, too. The new one looks like it's going to have awesome graphics and epic fight scenes, which is the only reason that I want to watch it. This movie does not.
No, it does not at all.
The graphics are, I mean, like, it was a while ago, but still, even then.
Still 2 years after Jurassic Park.
Yeah. So.
So, yeah.
They're garbage.
And, 5 years after T2,
yeah.
Like the Reptile.
Oh my gosh.
Reptile looks like they just took the asset from Mortal Kombat 4 on N64 and just dropped it into the movie. Like, it looks
basically
horrible. It's about as good as like a Beast Wars character.
Yes. That is a good approximation.
And this is like, there's like a very interesting I mean, I don't know if it's very interesting. I find it very interesting, but I get that regular people who like normal stuff might not find it interesting. But like, if you look at like New Line Cinema's overall filmography, like the Lord of the Rings are kind of their only like prestige blockbusters. And it's a miracle that they turned out as well as they did because like, and I'm talking like before they got bought by Warner Brothers, because like they just had this like super garbage, like cheap, like do it as cheap as possible to try and make as much money as possible attitude, while still like maintaining a reputation of as like a art house cinema like company. And you know, because like they did this, they did the Ninja Turtles movies.
Oh, right.
In the 90s, right? Like obviously all the like Freddy Krueger movies and stuff like that, like and like the Ninja Turtles movies also look like garbage. If you well, I mean the first one's pretty good, even in retrospect, like it holds up decently well, but like all the fight scenes are like in the dark, backlit, can't see what the fuck's going on, like
which was the right choice.
Yeah, and it's clear that they spent all the effects budget in this movie on Goro and had nothing left over for like Scorpion and Subzero and Reptile and, you know, Shao Kahn showing up at the end. And like there's so many just like just weird. Like even the sound design got shifted to the back end. Like so much dialogue in this movie is ADR. And it's horrible ADR. Like the scene where like Johnny Cage and Sonya are standing on the beach talking about how he's going to challenge Goro to Mortal Kombat so that he can, you know, defeat Shao Kahn's not Shao Kahn, Shang Tsung. Yeah, Shang Tsung is the bad guy, and then Shao Kahn shows up at the end, right? Or is that Quinn Lao? Who knows? And there's like this beautiful like sunset shot, and this beautiful tracking shot, but like there's no sound effects other than the music and their dialogue. Like there's no water, and like there's very clearly waves rolling in, and it's just like it's like very, very badly synced up ADR, and but on the flip side, the Goro puppet looks all right. I mean, okay, compared to Reptile?
Okay, yeah, worlds apart from Reptile. That's absolutely true. Yeah.
Because like they actually I think they like actually built like a puppet suit.
Yeah, it was a practical effect.
Yeah.
The face is bad.
Oh yeah, the face doesn't really move too much. But like overall it looks acceptable.
Yes, that's fair. It is acceptable. Given the state of the rest of the movie, that was a totally acceptable special effect. Was having big forearms there.
If they had also done a Reptile puppet that looked like that, I may have given it a pass, but I guess they wanted to do the whole like chameleon thing.
Yeah.
Like it basically looks like Randall from Monsters Inc.
Yeah, it does.
Until he turns, except worse. And then in order to have an actual fight, they make him possess a statue, which turns into a ninja, which is clearly just one of the Subzero / Scorpion costumes that they just like painted a different color.
Yeah, it's just green.
Yeah.
Reptile. Yeah.
Yeah. Also, let's talk about Scorpion and Subzero for a second.
Oh, so, yeah.
Johnny Cage has an awesome fight scene with Scorpion in the trees somewhere. And it's like, is it part of Mortal Kombat, or is it just Shang Tsung like trying to cheat, where like Scorpion just attacks him while he's walking through a wooded grove?
You know, that's very unclear because, like, they have the first fight, and it's Liu Kang against, like, this capoeira fighter. Might have been the best fight scene of the whole movie, actually, was that one.
It might have been, yeah.
But, the sorcerer dude who's, like, putting on all the fights, says that, like, Mortal Kombat begins from now on. This island is your like tournament ground or whatever. But then he's also like instigating one-on-one fights, and so it was really unclear to me as like if like, is this a regimented tournament, or can you all just like fight each other to the death whenever you meet each other, like Pokemon style?
Well, so what they because what they say is Mortal Kombat. In order for, like, the rules of the tournament are that, like, in order to initiate Mortal Kombat, you have to challenge someone to Mortal Kombat, and they have to accept.
Right.
Right? So, like, at the end, when Shang Tsung kidnaps Sonya Blade, takes her back to Outworld, and he's just got her tied up, and he's like, I've challenged you to Mortal Kombat. Are you going to accept it? You going to accept my challenge? Because your friends aren't coming. And she's like, they're going to come for me. That
was a really good impression.
So many Sheena, Queen of the Jungle dresses you can put me in. You know, I will never give up, and they'll come get me. She looks like Sheena, Queen of the Jungle at the very end. Anyways.
Yeah, he kidnaps her and like redoes her hair and outfit.
Yeah, he gives her a blowout.
Yeah, which is like a weird thing to do with a captive.
Gives her a blowout, gives her this like leather dress.
Yep. And then
ties her up.
Later on, when Liu Kang is actually fighting with him, and Luke Cage is just there with Sonya, he looks over and he's like, "Oh, nice dress," and she obviously looks pissed off and disgusted.
Yeah, but then at the end they like each other. I don't know.
Really,
that's how movies work.
Non-existent, contrived relationship between those two.
Yeah. Well, I'm pretty sure he dies in like the very first scene of the next movie. I think she does too, actually.
Because it's been a long time since I've seen it, and I know that I've at least once seen the second one, and so I was like kind of waiting for Luke Cage to die because I thought that was going to happen.
Yeah.
And then it never came, and I was like, oh, okay, I guess I was just remembering wrong. But
I mean, I bought the DVD set from Walmart. We could watch Annihilation next if you want. You want to do it? Should we do it?
I don't know. I don't know if that's worth it.
It's probably not worth it. No, it's not worth it. No.
No,
we'll save it. We'll save it. Because they're probably going to make a sequel to the new Mortal Kombat movie, so we'll save it for when they do that.
Cool. Maybe episode 100 is when that'll come around. You think we'll live that long? I don't know.
Dude, that's like 5 years from now. So no, probably not.
Well, I'll be dead.
Yeah. What were we talking about? Oh yeah. So Scorpion. Is that what we were talking about? No. Sorry, I'm looking at my notes. Oh god, I'm so lost.
We were talking about Scorpion fighting Luke Cage.
Right. So the rules of the tournament. He literally cartwheels into the fight. There's like a shot of some trees, and like from behind one of the trees, Scorpion just like cartwheels in out of nowhere. Yep. He's like, "Get over here," and then shoots his snake dragon tentacle out of his hand, which is definitely not from the game. Like, he just has a chain.
Yeah, it's a chain with a like a kunai knife at the end.
Yeah.
And then this thing, it's like a weird serpent thing.
Yeah, and then but also like if it hits a tree really hard, it dies.
Yeah, he misses with it. It nails the tree, and like blood squirts out of it because it was apparently a living thing, and now it's dead.
So now he's just got this like extra long dead snake hanging out of his hand. Like, what the fuck? Like, yeah.
Yeah, which then he never uses again. That was his signature move.
Yeah.
And they take it out right away.
He says the catchphrase, which they're all there.
Oh. It's all catchphrases. Half of the script was catchphrases.
And also, like, they get a bunch of them wrong. Because, like, Shang Tsung at one point says, like, flawless victory. And it's like, no, it wasn't. Like, Liu Kang got punched a lot in that fight. You know?
He
but they're all there. Fatality.
finish
him.
Yeah,
they're all there. Yeah. There's my favorite pun, I think, was when Kano and Sonya were fighting. And Kano, okay, why was he Australian? Because the actor's not Australian. The actor's British. Kano in the games was Japanese American, but they're like, you're Aussie now.
I do not know. Absolutely don't know.
Was it just like Paul W? Okay, but Paul Anderson is also British, so you figure he would know a British guy when he hears him speak. Maybe he's like, "Oh, are you Australian?" And he's like, yeah, mate, Ridgy Didge."
Oh
like,
no!
Great. So Kano's Australian now. But he says she's got him in a headlock, and she's like, "Come on, Sonya, give me a break." And she's like, "All right," and then just like snaps his neck, and Kano was dead.
Yep.
He never uses the laser eye. That's very upsetting.
Yeah, seems like it would have come in handy in that exact moment where his head was trapped between her lower legs.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, I'd say the action in this movie is like subpar at best.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. The lighting definitely has that, like, you can tell they didn't build the full set, so they just like pump in some smoke and blast some spotlights through it. And that's
yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm so torn about this movie. Like, was it fun? I mean, like, there's definitely fun moments, like when Johnny Cage does the splits and punches Goro in the balls. Like, that's his signature move from the game.
Yep.
But or when, like, he's walking off the set of his movie at the beginning, and there's like the guy that's supposed to be, apparently it was supposed to be a Steven Spielberg cameo, but then he just like didn't have time. And so they just like got a guy who looks exactly like Steven Spielberg and dressed him up like Steven Spielberg and put him on a camera crane thing.
That's weird.
Yeah. Very weird. Because apparently Steven Spielberg is a huge fan of the Mortal Kombat games and wanted to be in the movie.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's a fun fact. I would not have guessed that.
Yeah. So yeah, like, I don't know. What are your feelings on this? Like, what were some of the things you liked?
I mean, okay, well, first of all, there is one piece of dialogue that I actually really enjoyed. After Sonya has captured Liu Kang and Luke Cage, which, like, those names are too similar. It bothers me. Just like from a writing perspective, if you were writing a story and two of the main characters had those names, you'd be like, okay, I gotta change one of those.
Well, it's Johnny Cage.
Oh, I just said Luke Cage, didn't I?
Yeah, Luke Cage is the Marvel character.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
My bad. I don't know why. Well, Cage, whatever. I'm dumb. They go to Outworld to rescue Sonya. And it's a shitty looking place. It's like basically one long dark street and like lots of ruins and statues with dead people inside them and like rubble and shit. It looks terrible. And then Johnny has the line, "I hate this place. I don't really hate it. I'm in a hostile environment. I'm completely unprepared. I'm surrounded by people who probably want to kick my ass. It's like being back in high school."
Yeah.
That was actually fun.
He's got some decent quips, like when they're like first on the boat. He's like, "All right, so there's a guy that freezes things, a guy that shoots snakes out of his hands, and a man that's actually made out of electricity. What is going on here?"
Yeah, it was a fair reaction.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, like, Paul W.S. Anderson is a terrible filmmaker.
You heard it here first, folks.
I'd say I've enjoyed, like, I liked Event Horizon, kind of. I liked Alien vs. Predator, because that movie actually delivers what it promises. It is kind of dumb, but it's not, like, exceedingly dumb. you know? Like, this felt exceedingly dumb at times. And, like, the Resident Evil movies feel, like, exceedingly dumb at times. Even though, like, the first Resident Evil movie kind of had some fun stuff in it, maybe, kind of. I don't remember.
It was maybe not that much. Not really.
No. I don't remember what we said about it. Like, it was, like, 2 years ago that we talked about that.
Jeez, yeah. What did we give that movie?
I have no idea. You got it in front of you?
Yeah, I've got my.
I know I
end up
I
keeping
definitely,
all my notes.
Yeah, I know I definitely gave Alien vs. Predator a Craptacular, because like that movie, I've seen it so many times, and I will probably continue to watch it throughout my life. I love it. This one I was expecting to like a lot more. Oh, you got it there?
Yeah, Resident Evil was episode number 22. Rating?
Yeah.
Craptacular.
Okay, all right.
We did laugh at how bad some of that shit was, so
yeah.
I guess we enjoyed it enough for its terribleness.
I think so. Those movies are goofy, you know, like Paul Anderson has said, like, he's like a populist filmmaker. He doesn't make movies for critics. He makes them for the people sitting in the audience and wants them to be entertained the whole time. And I'm like, that sounds like what a bad filmmaker whose movies get horribly reviewed would say.
That is an excuse.
Yeah. Like, look, I somewhat respect the sentiment of, like, I want to make movies that entertain people, and I don't want to make movies for, like, the snobby elitists. I don't want to make cinema. I want to make movies, like popcorn, fun movies. I'm like, that's a respectable,
outlook.
Yeah, it's a respectable goal, and we need those kind of fun, just pure entertainment movies. But like, I think they can also be good.
Yeah, that is possible to do.
Not every movie needs to, like, you know, seriously address an element of the human condition and make us reevaluate our own psyche and our own outlook on life and shake us to our core. Like, sometimes you just can watch a movie and have a great time, but not have it feel like it's talking down to you.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I do. Absolutely.
Like Reign of Fire. Excellent movie. Oh, we didn't do that on this podcast. That was a different podcast I was on. But anyways, the sentiment is still the same. It's a movie about people living in a castle in England during a dragon apocalypse, and they got to fight dragons.
Right.
And it's excellent. And this is not.
No.
Final thoughts.
Ultimately it boils down to, like, it's a Mortal Kombat movie. It's supposed to be a movie about awesome, bloody fighting. We didn't really care about the characters, and that's fine. We didn't really care at all about the shitty plot, and that's fine. It came down to the fighting, and the fighting was subpar, as we've said.
The fighting was bad. So, like, apparently
this movie does not hold up to my childhood expectations.
No, not at all. I was expecting a lot more, like, fun, cheesy action.
Yep.
And yeah, it doesn't really deliver. Apparently he would make them do the whole fight in, like, one long take and then change the angle and then make them do the whole fight again from that angle and then change the angle and do that, like, 6-7 times. And this was his first, like, big Hollywood movie. And people were like, dude, that's not how you do it. That's not.
That seems like a bad idea.
That's not how things are done. And so, like, the actors are just getting, like, exhausted by, you know, the end of, like, the third or fourth take. Because it's like you're doing, like, a 3-4 minute kung fu routine. You got to do it perfectly, right? And that's on if they execute everything perfectly and they don't have, like, fuck up the take and have to go back to ones, right?
Yep.
So, like,
oh boy,
just
yikes.
Yeah, so that's the action. I thought I agree with you 100%. It was completely subpar.
Mm-hmm.
I think, the best fight is probably the Liu Kang against random capoeira guy.
Yep. And then there were no stakes in that fight at all.
No, none, not at all.
It was the very first one, so obviously Liu Kang was going to win.
Yeah.
So
second best fight probably Johnny Cage versus Scorpion.
Probably. It's at least the most interesting because it starts in one place and then he goes to kick Scorpion and Scorpion teleports them into what I guess is his lair made of shitty scaffolding, ropes, and dead people.
That's where that New Line aesthetic really comes in.
Yeah, there we go.
It was probably like a Freddy Krueger set that they just repurposed for for Mortal Kombat.
We're almost done taking this set down. No, leave it the way it is. It looks perfect.
Put it back up. It's fine. It's fine. We'll just put a red filter over everything and it'll be great. And I know that Liu Kang also fought Subzero at some point.
Yes.
I don't remember that fight at all.
Here's the thing, like the most iconic fighters, the ones that we want to see go ham and like FS up are Scorpion, Sub-Zero, and Goro. Personally, those are the top three. All of them. All of them die like unceremoniously.
And Raiden.
Oh, right. Fuck. Yes. Raiden, please do something. Anything. Goodness gracious.
Yeah.
But like fucking, Scorpion loses that fight because he stops doing anything.
Yeah.
Like he at one point takes off the mask and there's just the skull. Yeah. And then he takes a little while to power up his fire breath. And then he does that, which like, I've seen the game. I know that he lifts up the mask and you see that there's just skull there and then he breathes fire. He pulls it back down. That's like one of his moves. But yeah, there's like just like a random shield with jagged edges around it, like a huge saw blade. And he uses that to protect himself from the fire attack, and then basically like runs over to him and starts cutting him up with the shield, and he just stands there and lets it happen to him, and then he blows up. Yeah. The Sub-Zero fight like has like some decent combat right at the beginning. But as soon as Liu Kang starts to like get a little bit of an edge on him, Sub-Zero again stops fighting and starts powering up a huge ice attack. And like there's this big, just terrible effect of like this huge dome aura of icy power forming around him. And then like Liu Kang sees Katana there, who had like in a previous scene whispered to him, "In your next fight, use the element that gives life." And there's like a bucket of water there. Yeah. And he's like, "Oh, the element that gives life." And then he like gets a bucket of water and just fucking windmills that thing for like 30 seconds while Sub-Zero's just over there powering up this big dome ice energy. And then he throws the bucket. The bucket, I guess, disappears, and then the water that's in it shoots out, and the water hits the aura, turns into a giant icicle, and Sub-Zero's eyes just go, woo, they go wide, and then it hits him in the chest, and he gets pinned to a statue and then freezes over.
Right. I do kind of remember that now.
Big, dumb, unceremonious death. But those are nothing compared to the way that Goro dies. Goro is the fucking champion, this giant four-armed, muscly dude, and we see him absolutely wreck a different fighter that, like, I guess Johnny Cage knew as like a world-renowned martial artist, and he just gets wrecked. So even in that fight, we don't see Goro do much, if anything, because he just like handles this dude. But yeah, Johnny Cage, like you said, drops down, does the splits, punches him in the nuts, and then runs away.
Yeah,
which is like, hey, that was the smartest thing we've seen Johnny do in this entire movie. Punch him in the nuts, run away. You can't beat that guy. But then he like goes out into this balcony that is just like an outcropping in the side of the mountain. There's no railing, and then he just kind of like hides and waits for Goro to come. And then like, I can't remember the one-liner right now, but
this is the part where you fall.
Oh, no, it was, sorry, when Goro first comes on, Goro had broken his glasses, and those were like, he was like, those were $800 Ray-Bans, jackass, or something like that. Yeah. And then he just starts beating on Goro, and Goro's just not doing anything. And then he gets a roundhouse kicked in the side of the head, falls off, and then is clutching on the ledge, and that's when Johnny Cage says, "This is the part where you fall." So Goro just dies like a wimp.
Yeah, which is a throwback to the line from the beginning of the movie when Johnny Cage is shooting a movie and one of the stunt guys forgets to fall over.
Oh yeah, he misses his cue.
Like do the whole scene, and then he's like, "This is the part where you fall over, or fall down, or whatever." And then
fall down.
The guy just like comically throws himself to the ground, and he's like, "Jesus, where do you get these guys?" And then that's when they reveal that he's like filming a movie.
Yeah.
So I'd say overall, thoroughly underwhelmed by Mortal Kombat.
Yep. It the only things that I cared about in the whole movie were just things that were tugging on my nostalgia from playing the game as a kid. But overall, like, if I didn't have that, there would be literally nothing enjoyable about this movie except for like a few Johnny Cage lines. Then that's it. So
yeah, well, and like even the stuff that is there, that's like the nostalgia stuff, like, you know, like we were just talking about with like Scorpion and Subzero, like it's not good.
Yeah, no, it's
like, yeah, he says get over here, but like nothing comes of it, you know?
Yep. Yeah, it was an empty promise of
or like anytime, you know, there's a, you know, fatality or Goro wins or like any of that kind of stuff, like it just doesn't hit the way they wanted it to hit. Yeah.
Yep. So
it's bad.
Yeah. Ultimately, this movie is just one big pile of shit.
That is one big pile of shit.
One big pile of shit, my dude. I wanted it so badly to be Craptacular, and now I'm wondering, like, maybe is Annihilation the movie that we want? That we actually want? Like, that actually is
because we know it's worse than this one. Maybe it's worse enough. Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, that's what, you know, that's what everyone says, you know, like, oh yeah, Annihilation's way worse, but like maybe that makes it better, you know.
Well, only one way to find out, sadly.
Is only one way to find out. We're gonna have to watch it.
Yeah, episode 100.
Episode 100, baby. Unless another Mortal Kombat movie comes out before then, in which case we'll move it up and we'll watch like The Room for episode 100 or something.
Yeah, sure.
Because next month we are coming back to talk about another movie. I was hoping that we were gonna be coming back to our roots or something, but we're not really. We're watching an Aussie schlock fest about a giant killer crocodile called Dark Age.
Awesome.
Which I am most excited about. So yeah, look out for that. We didn't get to do like a great Aussie exploitation movie last year, and we've kind of done one every year. Starting with BMX Bandits, and then I've kind of just kept them going.
Yeah, well, BMX Bandits was just such a treat. There's got to be another BMX Bandits out there for us to watch.
The Australians, they made good crap, man. They made good crap. We did Razorback. We did
Razorback. What the fuck?
What was that other one we did where they're all in the Dead End Drive-In? That was a good one.
Oh man, that was so weird.
And have we done a third Australian one? I thought we did. Maybe we didn't. Anyways, that's what we'll be doing next month. So stay tuned for that.
Oh, what about Rotten Tomatoes for Mortal Kombat?
Oh, my dude, let us look. Not mortgage calculator. Mortal Kombat. I know I can't afford a house. I don't need you to tell me. I remember reading somewhere that this was Paul W.S. Anderson's best reviewed film.
Oh. Uh-oh.
Which I find a little hard to believe, because I feel like Event Horizon is actually a better movie.
Well, okay, well, so it's his best, so it's not going to be as low as I'm thinking. But it should still be low, right? Like, I'm going to guess 40.
Ooh, so close. It's 43.
43. Ooh, that was very close. 43 though. Jeez, I'm originally gonna be like 12. But
yeah.
I guess ultimately it just has not aged well.
His newest movie, Monster Hunter, based on the video game Monster Hunter, has a 49%.
Oh, I saw the trailer for that and I was like, wow, this looks like shit.
Yeah.
I've only played a little bit of Monster Hunter. It's a very cool game. The movie looks terrible.
Yeah. He does bad movies. And yet people continuously give him $60 to $100 million to make movies.
Weird.
His worst reviewed movie is Soldier, which has 12%, which I have watched.
Oh.
Yeah.
Bad, I take it.
Yeah, it's not great. Yeah.
Well, that's Mortal Kombat, eh?
Yeah. It cost $18 million to make, and it grossed $130 million? $122 million.
Sorry, Soldier or Mortal Kombat?
Mortal Kombat.
Oh, okay. Huh.
And then they upped the budget to $30 million for the sequel, and somehow it got worse. I don't know.
Well, enough, money does not the movie make, as they say.
Do they say that?
No, no one says that. You need a lot of money to make a
lot
movie.
of money, dude.
Just a lot of money. It's fucking ridiculous.
Yeah. Like, I have an idea for a movie that I would like to make, and it's like a very small, contained movie, and I'm like, kind of like thinking about it, I'm like, but it still would cost $5 to $10 million probably, if like a conservative a conservative estimate.
Yeah,
but we'll get there one day. Gotta get those Patreon numbers up first.
Hey yo.
All right, speaking of Patreon, we have one. You can find us on Patreon at I think it's patreon.com/retrocrappod. You know what? Fuck it. We have a link tree, okay? It's linktr.ee/retrocrappod. You can go there to find links to our Spotify, iTunes, Patreon, Twitter, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, and our email. And that will show you everything you need to know. Twitter is probably the best place to engage with us. That's where I hang out the most. Patreon, we've got some fun bonus stuff on there, bonus episodes, some commentary tracks, that sort of thing. YouTube, you can think that you're going to watch the movie for free, and then it's just us talking about it, and then you can write a real angry comment. A lot of people do. Didn't have any fun ones this week, but here's hoping. I'm sure this episode will get a lot because the new movie's coming out. People are probably going to want to watch it, and we'll get like, what the fuck is this shit? But yeah, other than that, if you wanna find out, if you wanna fuck around and find out, go to linktr.ee/retrocrappod. All the links are there.
Perfect.
Yeah. Until next time, we'll be back with Dark Age, and it'll be episode 51, baby.
Yeah.
So close.
To what?
100. We're almost halfway there.
Beauty.
over halfway there. All right. Yeah. Anything I missed? Anything we need to add?
I don't know.
I don't think so. This is the most concise ending we've ever done to the show.
Well, let's see how long we can drag it out.
All right. So I gotta do my taxes after this. And
that's the end of the episode. I'll just sit here while you do your taxes.
I really have not organized my receipts, and so it's literally gonna be me going through drawers and my wallet.
Oh boy. Oh no.
My car. Just looking for receipts.
What do you use to do your taxes?
An accountant.
Oh, like another human.
Yeah, because I'm an independent contractor, so like I have like a whole bunch of like expenses I can write off, but it means I need to like keep track of everything, and so like also like I bought a new car last year, so I gotta like add up the mileage from my old car and then like also do the mileage on the new car. It's
jeez,
a whole big thing.
That sucks.
So yeah, I think for this year, I'm once again I'm gonna use an accountant. Next year I might try and TurboTax it or something like that.
Yep, that's what I used. I did nothing but sit at home and work from home this year.
Not for me. Probably gonna have to pay money, so
well,
gotta try and get the amount of money that I have to pay as low as possible, because don't have a lot of it to begin with. Because where you can help out by going to patreon.com/retrocrappod.
Right around.
For anyone who stuck around through the whole tax chat, we're bringing it back, baby. The episode is going out in style. Thank you so much for listening. Join the Patreon. We're going to talk about Twilight on there at some point, I'm sure. And until next time, did we talk about Twilight more than we talked about Mortal Kombat? I really hope not.
Well, you're the one who edits the episodes. You can tell me.
Fair enough. Keep watching crap, everybody.